Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the beautiful country called Egypt. Our lecturer is Paul Nachu, course unit African Business Topics IB 1026, class group 1A IBT, and students Haska Said, Christopher James, Viacheslav Zhdanov, and me, Neilas Kisielius. And the first part of the presentation will be about the general information of the spectacular and diverse place on Earth. So let's delve into the political landscape of Egypt. Egypt, a nation steeped in captivating history and cultural vibrancy, navigates a complex political system. The parliament serves as the cornerstone of democracy, guarding the interests of the people and ensuring accountability for those in charge. Egypt obeys to a semi-presidential system, where the executive power is shared between the president and the prime minister. So Egypt's political landscape is a dynamic and always evolving, shaped by the aspirations of its people. As Egypt continues its journey, it strives to establish a political system that reflects the values of its citizens.
Now I'm going to be talking about the geographical landscape of Egypt. Egypt is located in the northwest of Africa and borders the countries of Libya, Israel, and Sudan.
Let us move on to the socio-religious and economic landscape of Egypt. Egypt's socio-religious landscape is predominantly Sunni Islam, 90%, with 10% Coptic Orthodox Christians and a smaller percentage of other Christian groups. Some Egyptians identify as non-religious, atheists, or culturally Muslim but not practicing, resulting in a very diverse religious landscape. In terms of the economy, Egypt, once largest in Africa, currently ranks 38th globally. Predicted inflation is 23.5%, and growth is expected to decrease from 6.7% in 2022 to 4.2% in 2023, due to the Chinese real estate market crisis. Nonetheless, ongoing economic reforms are strengthening Egypt's market.
Now we are heading to the next part called Business in Egypt. Starting a business in Egypt is a challenging and often difficult process. There are many legal requirements that must be met before starting a business, such as filing with the tax authorities, business license, and registering your business.
Now I'm going to be talking about the different company types and the steps of registration. There are 4 different company types, which are a JSC, a PLC, an LLC, and an OPC. And to register your company in Egypt, you'll need first to choose your company name. Next, you'll need to get a commercial registration certificate. Next, you'll need to get your VAT number. Then you'll need to get your commercial license and your work permit. And finally, you'll need to notarize your articles of association.
Now I'm going to talk about starting a business in Egypt. So before start up your business in Egypt, there are a few costs you need to remember, such as the different legal fees, the minimum capital requirement of 10,000 EGP, the registration fees, and the notary fees. Now I'm going to talk about how to find the right location. So first of all, it's essential to understand the target market. Identify areas where the target audience is concentrated to maximize the business potential, and also factor in rent, taxes, and any renovation expenses. Next, we will talk about Egyptian taxation system. Egypt employs a progressive tax system where the tax rates increase with the higher income levels. Egyptian tax residents are subject to taxation on their global income, including income earned inside and outside the country.
And now let's delve into the laws and regulations for business operations in Egypt. To ensure compliance and avoid potential legal issues, it is essential to familiarize yourself with the key legal considerations for starting and operating a business in Egypt. Essential legal considerations for entrepreneurs. Getting business licenses and permits. Every business operating in Egypt must obtain the necessary licenses and permits based on its specific type of activity. These licenses are issued by GAFI. Also, every business has to comply with labor laws and regulations. For example, minimum wage requirements, providing employees with paid time off, and maintaining a safe and healthy work environment. Also, navigating Egypt's legal landscape can be complex and time-consuming, so lawyers can provide information on the topics I have mentioned before. By investing in a legal counsel, you can gain a peace of mind knowing your business is operating in compliance with Egyptian law, protecting your interests and ensuring long-term success.
The country faces a 12% unemployment rate in 2023, with a job market centered around key sectors that are trade, tourism, entertainment, information technology, oil, and healthcare. The minimum wage is 2,700 Egyptian pounds per month, approximately 80 euros, with regional differences, averaging between 4,000 to 6,000 Egyptian pounds, 120 to 180 euros. Foreign nationals intending to work in Egypt must go through a legal process, obtaining both a work permit and a visa. I will now be discussing the question, what are the business sectors to target and invest in Egypt? Leading the pack is information technology, with significant investments in software, e-commerce, and more, backed by government support. Tourism. Tourism shapes Egypt's GDP, extending beyond the pyramids with government-backed initiatives in hotels and new attractions. Shifting our focus to renewable energy, Egypt targets 42% from sources like wind and solar by 2035. Agriculture. In agriculture, 28% of the workforce focuses on crops like wheat and cotton, supported by government initiatives. Lastly, healthcare. Healthcare is booming due to the rising demand, with government backing in hospital development and technology.
And now we are heading for cross-cultural aspects of the different groups of people in Egypt. One of the most important cultural similarities of all different groups is the importance of family, also customs and traditions that are common across all ethnic groups in Egypt. So the first major group, is Arabs. Arabs, constituting approximately 90% of Egypt's population, represents the largest ethnic group in Egypt. Second group is Coptic Christians, with a population of around 9%. They are the largest Christian minority in Egypt. Third group is Nubians. Nubians are an indigenous group inhabiting the Nubian region along the Nile River. And the fourth group is Bedouins. Bedouins are mostly Arabs, Arab nomads traveling the deserts of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. All these different groups have similarities, like already mentioned, hospitality and warmth, but they also have differences, like different languages they speak. As we can see, Arabs speak Arabic, Bedouins speak Arabic dialects, and so on. So Egypt's ethnic diversity is a source of its strength and cultural richness.
Now I will be discussing business etiquette in Egypt. Understanding and respecting local customs is crucial, starting with dress code and proper appearance. Modesty aligns with religious beliefs, emphasizing on body coverage despite the hot weather. Neatness is also key, extending to spotless attire, and businessmen often avoid facial hair and long hair. Practical tips include longer, modest attire for women and long pants for men, avoiding overly tight or revealing clothing. Transitioning to greetings and meetings. Handshakes are the norm, with close associates possibly exchanging cheek kisses. The Arabic greeting Assalamu alaikum is a respectful practice. Meetings involve small talk, coffee, and relationship building before delving into business discussions, often lasting. In terms of social etiquette in Egypt, avoiding sensitive topics like politics and religion is essential for maintaining a respectful and cooperative environment. Given Egypt's diverse religious beliefs, such discussions can be seen as offensive. Respecting family privacy, especially regarding female relatives, is equally important, making personal questions about family best avoided.
Next, I'm going to be talking about the different manners and mannerisms in Egypt. Of course, there are certain things that you should try and avoid to not be unknowingly rude while you're in Egypt, such as when you sit down, try not to point your feet at the person in front of you. And when talking to men, eye contact is good, but when you're talking to a woman, eye contact can be seen as too intimate, so you should try and avoid.
And now we're moving to the next part called negotiating a business deal in Egypt. First of all, I'm going to talk about hierarchy and decision making. Egyptian managers usually consult with their colleagues but make the final decision on their own, Once a decision has been made, employees must follow it strictly, avoiding disputes and criticism.
Next, I'm going to be talking about the long-term relationship focus. The relationship focus in Egypt is mostly on people and not on companies. So somebody might trust you but might not trust your colleagues. And having good relationships can cause you to get introduced to new people, which can lead to you expanding your network and then also further lead to business success.
Next, let's address the importance of avoiding stereotypes. Cultural stereotypes can lead to misunderstandings, so it's crucial to focus on cultural prototypes, recognizing diverse behaviors within a culture. For instance, the stereotype that Egyptians always prioritize personal connections may not hold true for everyone. Acknowledging the variety of behaviors within a culture is essential to prevent difficulties and miscommunication. Moving on to the understanding of diverse perspectives. Cross-cultural miscommunications often arise when interpreting actions through our own cultural lens. Invest time in learning about the beliefs and behaviors of others, considering that corporate teams and organizations also have unique cultural differences. Now, on to successful communication in Egypt. Here, communication involves indirect speech and nonverbal cues. Understanding these cultural nuances is vital to adapting and avoiding unintentional rudeness, enhancing positive interaction in Egyptian social settings. Lastly, let's discuss strategies for adapting to changes. In unexpected situations, especially during negotiations in Egypt, cultural awareness is crucial. Align your strategies with their cultural norms, and maintaining composure in challenging situations is key for achieving positive outcomes.
Now we are moving to the last part called Flemish, Belgium and European companies. We found 7 companies that have offices in Egypt. It is Solvay, Basics Group, Coca-Cola, Valeo, Danone and Orange. The Solvay Group has opened an office in Egypt on December 2018, aiming to strengthen its presence in North African countries. Basics has been present in Africa for several decades, where it has participated in the construction of many state-of-the-art construction projects. Established in 1994, the Coca-Cola dedicated to serving their customers and making a difference in Egyptian communities. Siemens is a strategic partner of Egypt's economic and social development since the late 18th. Danone Egypt is a subsidiary of Danone Company with a leading position on essential dairy products in Egypt. Orange Egypt is an Egyptian joint stock company established on the 4th of March 1998. Established in 2005, Valeo has set up the largest research and software development center in Egypt. It was the last part of our presentation. Thank you all for your attention.